You know, I've got a real problem with Nikki Sixx saying that Motley Crue is better off having replaced Mick Mars with John 5. And it's that kind of revisionism that makes me very uncomfortable. What's going on, everyone? You're watching Sight Sounds Flavors on YouTube, sightsoundsflavors.com. If at any point in time you like this video, smash that like button. Please subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, leave a comment down below. To me, it makes me very uncomfortable. Back in the 90s, I saw a Kiss video titled Extreme Close-Up or something like that, or Kiss Exposed, I don't remember. In this video, you saw Ace playing a guitar solo. I think it was during the Creatures promo tour they did for them as a favor before he left the band. And Paul, in his diva-like dramatic voice, said when Ace's playing was no longer up to par, it started to hurt the band. Words were, or Gene's words, I think, were, you had to quote-unquote cut them loose. It never sat well with me, because I knew better. Then, before the internet, I knew better. And to me, it's that kind of revisionism that makes me very uncomfortable. Because now, both Gene and Paul readily will tell you that Ace left the band not once, not twice, but 3 different times. They said no more. They said no more. But back in those days, they were singing a different tune. Motley Crue didn't fire Mick Mars. I know that. You know that. But what about the kids? And in Motley Crue terminology, that's people under the age of 35. What about the children? They don't know. They just don't. And they are susceptible to subscribing to the only commentary of the sort in town, that being that of Nikki Sixx. I mean, the youth, you know, they deserve better. And older Motley fans do as well. People in their 60s and 70s. The other day I went to a nursing home. My dad is actually at a nursing home now because he's 100 years old. But I mean, he's 100 years old and my mom can't take care of him. It really is very sad because, you know, we never wanted my dad to go to a nursing home. But my mom's 83 and I live in Kentucky and they're in South Florida and she's got to do it. Anyways, down the hall from my dad, there was a gentleman, a rocker, a real rock and roller. He wasn't 100 obviously, but he was 82 years old and he was playing live wire. And I was like, oh my gosh, I mean, you know, I couldn't believe it. 82 years old. And I don't know how old would that have made him when live wire came out. So it's 24, like about 40 years old, maybe, like late 30s, something like that, early 40s. I mean, you know, there were plenty of people that liked Motley that were in their early 40s and the early 80s because Motley's music catered to people from the 70s as well. I mean, Motley's roots are London, which was a 70s glitter band, and their roots are the early 70s, you know, Bowie, Alice Cooper, Kiss kind of, you know, vibe. So it wouldn't have been uncommon for there to have been a person in the early 40s or late 30s and the early 80s into Motley Crue. In fact, Motley opened for Kiss and they opened for Ozzy, both acts from the 70s, basically. Ozzy, Black Sabbath, Kiss. But, I mean, look, fans of all walks of life are susceptible. The 82-year-old man in the nursing home, the 35-year-old guy that just discovered Motley Crue, they're equally susceptible to the lies of Nikki Sixx because he's lying by trying to alter history with a stupid quote like that of Well, we're better off having replaced Mick Mars with John 5. You didn't replace Mick Mars. He left. It's not like 1992 where did Vince get fired? Did he quit? You know, did they want to do a grunge record? Did he want to race cars? No, Mick Mars left. He couldn't play anymore. He did that ridiculous farewell where he signed the contracts and you all cried on stage, and he came back and did a stadium tour. You know, I mean, you know, Nikki had 1958 and 6 a.m. and Brides of Destruction. Tommy had all those horrendous hip hop groups of his. Vince Neil continues to tour as a solo artist. Mick is the only one that never went and did anything. You know, he was always playing Motley and always by the phone. Even when they did the reunion back in 05, they had to find the guy. They thought he had died. So, you know, and the idea that these guys are buddies and hang out, Vince and Tommy, they hate each other, you know? And the only reason that Nikki got Mick's face or whatever tattooed on his leg is because Jerry Miller and half of the metal community were reporting that Nikki Sixx was going to replace him with Tracy Guns, and that was like 20 years ago. Because remember, Nikki was all into Tracy Guns for a while. Kind of like he's into John 5 now. Kind of like he was into DJ Astro before. Kind of like he was into Sisters of Mercy during the 94 self-titled. And Generation Swine as well. Generation Swine's got a lot of Nine Inch Nails undertones and goth undertones and shit. And bottom line, though, is that he didn't fire Mick Mars. And anybody that thinks he did doesn't know what went down. Just like when I saw that first Kiss video, I was like, what? They had to fire Ace? That didn't make any sense to me. Because it wasn't true. So, one person left a great comment. They said, you know, I support Motley Crue, I support you, Nikki Sixx, but maybe for once in your life, be quiet. Hey, that's a perfect response. I mean, it hurts them. It hurts Nikki, it hurts Tommy, it hurts Vince. Because they signed that big deal with Tree Trunk Records or whatever it's called in Nashville, right? And they did this video where it's Motley Crue that was very uncensored like from the 80s, and they claim to have all these chart positions and whatever. I don't think that they're doing that well. And I think they're hurt financially because Mick was able to get their books, which is a victory. That's what he was suing for. His music sounds better. His music performed better. I don't think they're too happy. I think now, this is my last point. I think that they are starting to name drop Mick Mars for clout. And a lot of people tell me, hey, it's over. That's old news. You know, quit mixing it up. I really think that big bad Motley Crue is having to name drop Mick Mars just to get some virals, get some trendings, you know, get some tap backs, some double clicks, some reposts, whatever you want to call it. They need to mention Mick Mars. So, anyways, what say you?